gonna be all right? Was he delivered fast enough?
He is physically normal, but we're not entirely sure about him mentally. But we need to talk about Sarah.
You shouldn't be in here. It's breaking in.
Okay, Sarah, I'm going to need you to speak up and stumble through the lines a little bit.
Got it.
Okay, this is it. Now, I know it's not your forte, but you did ask for this role.
Yeah, I can do this. We talked, and it's just another role, right?
Exactly. Let's do this. Okay, roll camera. Roll sound. Action.
Let me out of here, Mark. You're making a big mistake.
Sorry, babe. Nobody double crosses me twice. Shit.
Cut! I thought you said you had this. Look, do you want to play the victim the rest of your career? You're pretty damn good at it.
Wait, Jim, just give us 2 days.
I'm sorry, Jim. I trust her. If it doesn't work out, I'll just have to find another niche. I don't know, okay? I have a really good reason why I can't just...
Okay. All right. One more chance. Come back here in 2 days. We'll rearrange and shoot scenes 5 through 9. Get out of here.
Come on, Robert, let's go. Robert. Hey, Robert.
Help, I won't tell anyone, I promise.
You got that right. You're not getting away from me that easily. I'm the meanest assassin you'll ever meet. Besides, I wasn't even trying.
Go ahead, cut my throat. I don't care.
Come on, Robert.
Where am I?
Are you sure he's okay? Where did he go?
He's fine. Just give us 2 days.
Nervous?
Yeah, a little. I get nervous under stress.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. Just speak directly to the administrator and ignore him.
Thanks. It's just so important. People need to understand what Cedar Creek represents.
Evil. That's what it represents.
Oh, no. There were some good people there. Dr. Jameson was. We were both psychiatrists there.
Let's not talk about that place. Every time I saw you after work.
Oh, yeah, you mean at Gadsby's, right? That place turned me into an alcoholic.
No, I did that. It was necessary.
Well, it's just that what they did to Robert was so inhumane. He wasn't a patient. He was a subject, a guinea pig. And now they want to trust us with this new technology.
What exactly happened to Robert and Sarah? I know they were twins and were telepathic. I know, patient-client confidentiality.
No. They released me from that. Now they want everybody to know. Yeah, they were fraternal twins, and they were born with unusual abilities. They tried to lead a normal life until this one singular event started this whole remarkable but horrible story.
So who was murdered there?
One person was murdered, but the souls of 2 children were lost that day.
God. What happened to their father?
He disappeared. They both did, the father and the other guy.
Wait, I'm confused. Who was the murderer and who was murdered? Is that what caused Robert's PTSD?
No, it was his imagination and his fear of living among us that caused his dissociative, his post-traumatic stress.
I think I understand.
Nobody can understand. You ask who was murdered that day, only Sarah or Robert know.
Sarah or Robert? They both know. I don't understand.
Well, you asked who murdered who that day. Well, that would depend on who you ask, Sarah or Robert.
Whatever happened, it caused the post-traumatic stress, the PTSD, right?
Maybe. So, imagination can play a powerful force on children. It can either make them soar or it can defeat them entirely. If you had to ask yourself one question that would play out the rest of your life, what would be the most horrible thing you could ask?
I don't know.
What would be harder to live with? Knowing your father was murdered? Or knowing your father was a murderer and disappeared?
Okay, let's get started. My name is Dr. Jennifer Blackwell. I am the DHHS hearing officer here today. I am a graduate and a psychiatrist of the PhD field in health policy from Trachtenberg School of Public Policy and Public Administration at George Washington University. Let the record show that on my right is Dr. Cynthia Morgan, a former employee that is a former psychiatrist and psychologist at Cedar Creek Mental Health Center, and Dr. Frank Treischon, Director of Patient Procedures and Operations at Cedar Creek. Before starting, I am informing all participants and parties that this hearing is being held in accordance with HIPAA and all other applicable DHHS regulations. This is strictly a preliminary hearing to assess whether there is a need to advance the case presented to us by Dr. Morgan to a full committee. Dr. Morgan, please state for the record your qualifications, what you did at Cedar Creek, and why you left there.
First of all, I am a practicing psychiatrist. At Cedar Creek, I had a number of different roles. I was a patient advocate, but I was also an assistant to Dr. Jameson in monitoring patients undergoing psychological and dream intervention while in an induced coma.
Please define induced coma as it was applied.
Well, Cedar Creek had a few select patients that with unique psychological backgrounds. They came there with severe PTSD, sometimes even in a catatonic state. We used highly experimental procedures on them to see what was going on inside their mind in order to evaluate them for therapy. So we would put them in a dreamlike state somewhere between a formal medical coma and normal sleep.
I want to go back to that. First, Dr. Treischon, what did you do at Cedar Creek?
I too am a psychiatrist. I managed a team of people who were responsible for reviewing all documentation on all the care of every patient for all psychiatric procedures. Essentially, I was the watchdog who determined if a therapy wasn't working or if a patient was being mistreated. I worked with all practicing doctors for every patient to ensure their humane treatment.
Well, some background is in order. My understanding is that Cedar Creek had one patient, Robert Slattery, who was very unique. There's a video record of most of his life. Dr. Morgan sent the DHHS copies much of this record. Apparently, Robert was filmed from a baby forward. Parents had cameras everywhere, as did Cedar Creek. In addition, Cedar Creek had some technology to record patients' dreams, including while in an induced coma. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
We have these videos of Robert's life, his dreams, as well as visitors that saw him at Cedar Creek, which we will be showing in confidence here for you to comment on as you answer the questions we have before you. These proceedings will allow the full committee and possibly Congress to decide for themselves what happened to patients such as Robert Slattery. So my question for you, Dr. Morgan, is why are these videos necessary? What are they going to tell us about Cedar Creek and Robert Slattery? And why is that important?
Well, see, first you need to understand why Robert was so special, why they chose him. Cedar Creek only had a few patients or select subjects, and the videos will portray Cedar Creek's greed in pushing these this technology forward in order to be the sole corporation in charge of it, the technology, and so they would push their patients beyond their psychological tolerance level.
I'm sorry, that's completely uncalled for. We took good care of Robert.
See, what Dr. Trishan won't tell you is that they selected patients with a history of PTSD, lucid dreaming, telepathy, underdeveloped emotions, and Robert had all of these. See, he was the product of a botched C-section delivery. You know, his sister was his protector because his parents didn't know how to deal with them. She was strong, and he was the opposite. Now, they were both telepathic, so he was the perfect candidate.
Can we stop right there? We have a short video of the obstetrician and Robert's mother, and another one showing Sarah's attempts to bring out Robert's suppressed emotions when they were both very young. We also have a video of the parents arguing over what to do with Robert, which was the start of Cedar Creek's involvement. If we can show these, I think it would be helpful.
Wait a minute. For the record, we did not know Robert's full condition back then. And the parents didn't share those videos with us until much later. In fact, it wasn't until Robert was nearly 20 years old and brought to us in a catatonic state that we began to evaluate him more fully.
That's not entirely true. You know fully well Dr. Jameson's role in all this, as well as his Uncle Tony. You know, even Dr. Jameson didn't know the extent to which how you were treating Robert. He was my friend, and he was very close with the Slatterleys. And you know, he committed suicide over this. His feelings of guilt and depression.
Okay, we're gonna get into all of this, but I wanna watch these clips first because I wanna understand Robert better and what happened to him. What brought about his PTSD?
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I wasn't expecting twins. And a boy and a girl, not the same sex.
Oh yes, they are fraternal, not identical. Now, they had to perform a cesarean in order to deliver the boy, but you know that, of course.
They're both okay, right?
Yes. Physically, he is normal, but we're not entirely sure about him mentally. So we're going to need to perform some diagnostic tests.
Is he gonna be all right?
It's okay, it's just a dream. Oh, he's sweating. Okay, come on. Okay, I'll get you a wet washcloth. Some tea. We'll go back to bed.
We need to talk about Sarah.
Sarah, why? Is she all right?
Oh, she looks to be healthy, but...
What do you think of the way I decorated my room?
What is all this creepy stuff?
It's not creepy, it's beautiful, and I have something else to show you. Let's go to the living room.
Why?
Because that's where all the cameras are. Are you ready?
For what?
For this.
I asked him what happened. He said nothing. I went to his room to ask him again. He slammed the door before I could get in.
Why did you leave the rabbit in the bloody carpet?
I don't know.
Well, I think we need to tell them.
I think Sarah should go with Uncle Tony.
What? Why?
He's my brother. He's a child therapist. I want him to evaluate Sarah before we rush off and tell them what they're beginning to figure out on their own.
Well, what about group therapy? We can tell Sarah about her condition first, and then Robert. But in family therapy.
And how do we know how Sarah's going to react in family therapy? She could ruin everything. You know how stubborn and aggressive she is. She's like a father to Robert.
What? I'm her father. I'm their father. Are you crazy?
Of course not. Can maybe help her deal with this first? Show her how she can help in group therapy?
And you think we have time for this now? You think separating them is going to make things better.
He can't treat her if she's around Robert all the time.
Robert needs to know what's going on now. It can't wait. He's going to internalize this, and who knows what's going on in his head while Sarah's gone.
I'm his mom. I need her to see me as her mom.
Rating a little. She may play the role, but she knows you're her mom. You know that. Well, we can't wait for Uncle Tony. How long is that going to take? He could be damaged. For life.
Face it, Jack. We're all damaged here.
So, wow. I have multiple questions. Bear with me here. First, the chromosome test? That's a test for sexual orientation?
That is a sexual orientation test. Sarah has androgen insensitivity syndrome. Her parents didn't start her on hormonal therapy for many years. Generally, the child selects their sexual orientation when age appropriate, usually around puberty.
Thank you. Now, was that normal behavior we saw? I mean, what was Sarah trying to achieve with the display with the rabbit? Stabbing it? Was that real?
No. Children do play out their emotions, but this was beyond that. Sarah was concerned about Robert's passive behavior, and she was trying to get him to see things emotionally like she does. She felt because they were telepathic that they should be more similar, and she thought that would toughen him up. She overheard her stepfather a lot.
Is this what prompted Robert's PTSD? I mean, this seems pretty severe if it went as far as splitting up the family or the children, which is what happened after this incident.
No, I think we need to go back a little bit. Sarah is a hermaphrodite. And because of that, the parents feared the stigma of this. Publicity, how the other children would treat them, so they kept them isolated. They couldn't afford private schools, and they either didn't want to or couldn't homeschool, so.
Yes, we know all that.
Yeah, but the DHHS doesn't know it, and the public doesn't
This
know.
is not a matter for the public.
Precisely. And you think it should be?
Well, the children have both agreed to making this public.
Well, anyway, it's irrelevant to what we do at Cedar Creek, the non-invasive treatment of many mental disorders.
No, I think it's totally relevant because you allowed a patient with a history of PTSD, anxiety, and dissociative identity disorder into your clinic, where then you performed your own clinical studies on him unauthorized while in an induced coma, and then when he would come out of the coma, you would put him back under again.
We didn't know the history of this patient. We interviewed the parents. They weren't very forthcoming, but they did agree to the procedure, and so did his sister, Sarah.
You kidding me?
No, when we took him out of the induced coma, he went right back into the catatonic state. That's why we put him under again.
You had to have known that Sarah was a hermaphrodite, and you also knew that they witnessed a murder when they were small children. You know, you don't treat PTSD with induced nightmares. Robert was very emotionally underdeveloped due to that botched birth delivery, and he probably always will be. It's permanent. He's 20 years old. He's an adult. You never even had him sign any medical release forms at the clinic. You know, he was catatonic. He was not physically near death.
The parents agreed to the intervention. Physically, he was getting worse by the day.
You know, this wasn't the first time he was brought to the clinic, was it? His Uncle Tony brought him there, all the while lying to Sarah about it. The parents had him bring him there, and then they had Sarah live with him because that was their way of maybe getting Uncle Tony to tame her, in their own words. That was their parental response to the incident with the rabbit. We saw it all in the videos.
Okay, let's just, at this point, I think we need to know a little on some of the points you both brought up. We have a few more clips, so I want to show Sarah's interaction with her Uncle Tony. Maybe this will illustrate why she was so defiant, her personality. We also have a video recorded conference at Cedar Creek with various medical and psychiatric staff, including you, Dr. Morgan. This is right after Robert was admitted at age 20, right after his catatonic break. We also have a video of Robert's wife, Jane, and his sister, Sarah, arguing at a restaurant about admitting Robert and about Cedar Creek. We will let you go first after the videos, Dr. Trishan, since this meeting brought up potential ethical and ownership issues with Cedar Creek.
It also brings up serious issues about invasion of privacy because you know Jane did not know she was being recorded at that meeting.
Fine, we'll look at them. But first, let me make one point very clear. We do great work at Cedar Creek. Our tax returns are totally transparent to the government. We encourage visitors and even give tours. We record every procedure and file them routinely with government regulatory agencies. We have been totally compliant with all FOIA requests on a timely manner.
Let's just watch the clips, please. We can get into all of this later.
One more thing. This technology is revolutionary. Directed electrical signals with immediate feedback from the patient's brain allow us to modify their behavior when they're subconscious. We use laser lights, electromagnetic signals, even inaudible sound frequencies through their ears directly to the brain. The potential to cure millions of patients having hundreds of different mental and psychological disorders is right around the corner. We did this work in order to prepare for more wide clinical trials. Once this technology is available, it will be like a diabetic patient who now just needs to prick their skin once a week with a pen, only better. Eventually, patients will be able to use this technology in their homes using special glasses, a computer, and an internet connection. Psychiatric pharmaceutical drugs will be a thing of the past.
You're going to be wishing for the good old days of drugs when this technology is released. I mean, your privacy is going to be gone. They're going to be able to take images from any camera anywhere using virtual reality glasses, pulsed lasers, contact lenses, you name it, to look inside your mind remotely via Wi-Fi with your own modem, laptop, tablet, and then create a map of your emotional brain centers and send signals through your ears and eyes into any of the 200 regions of your brain, manifesting your emotions, your thoughts, your imagination. I mean, your emotions are going to be so unsurpassed, you won't even know what's happening. And you still haven't addressed the issues of the ethics of this.
We are not here to discuss the merits or problems with this technology.
If it were any other company, would we even be here at all?
We are here to assess Cedar Creek's conduct in patient trials and voluntary experimentation. Congress has a bill pending that grants them authority to pursue patents and pursue further clinical trials.
As well as making them the sole company in charge of this technology. I mean, you've already turned this into a franchise. We're not selling reality glasses here.
Let's just watch the clips and then we can continue.
Sarah, I'm coming in. Thought we should talk.
I don't want to talk. Get out.
Look, I know you don't want to be here. I'm hoping it won't be for long.
You can't make me stay here. Robert and I are one, and always will be. You're just going to make things a lot worse.
What? What did your mother and father tell you? Did they tell you why you're here or your condition? Your brother is going to go to a special school. You are going to be homeschooled here by me.
A special school? I know what you mean. I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm gonna start a webpage called My Crazy Uncle Tony.
No, that's what's not going to happen. You can use the phone, but not the computer until you get better, a little older, and more emotionally balanced. We'll see who's in control around here. The sooner you realize it, the sooner you will see your brother again.
And I doubt there's anything you can teach me. Besides, what are your qualifications? Are you even licensed?
Well, I am a licensed psychiatrist and teacher.
Even if the cops do come here, I'm just a little girl.
was work today?
The one that pays or acting?
Either one. I guess I didn't know you were doing both today.
Well, I'm in 2 films right now. One is a comedy about my childhood.
Is Sarah in it?
Yeah, she's actually been a great help with, getting emotions out of me, helping me remember my past, my real past.
Well, at least this one's a comedy. You've been taking on way too many of these victim roles lately where you kind of turn aggressor.
Yeah, Sarah thinks that I have a really large range as an actor.
Robert? Robert? Oh, God. Robert? 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 Hey. Where are you? Robert? Come on, come back. Robert?
Oh.
Hey, are you okay? What happened?
Yeah, I'm alright. It's just another flashback.
I really think you should see someone about this.
No, it's okay. Sarah's helping me through this, so.
Alright, well, you know what? You seem a little hot. I'm gonna go get you a glass of water.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring.
Hey, Sarah, if you're calling about the quote-unquote hunting adventure, I still haven't forgotten.
Robert, you have to trust me. We're not gonna kill anything. Just shoot at some pictures, some cans, stuff like that.
Why do we need the gun noise when I shoot you? Why does the gun have to be so real? Why can't I just say my lines and point the gun at you and they can cut to you before the shot? Why isn't that good enough?
Why isn't that good enough?
Well, Rob, you're not the director for one, and you might get some parts where you can't do that.
I hate violence.
I know, but you're stereotyped already. You've done 4 films in a row where you've played the victim. Everybody knows how sensitive you are, but you have got to show some range.
No. I know what you're doing. I am a lot smarter than I used to be. I'm just not as ambitious, not enough to lie and manipulate people just to get what I want.
What? Is that what you think of me now? Oh my god. Rob, I'm sorry that it is not some pretty world where everyone tells the truth, is sincere, caring, and feeling like you. And if you want to blame me for helping you to have some confidence in yourself.
Great ad.
It's Sarah, I know you just want to help, but you cannot make up for all the time that we've lost.
You're right. We need to start over. Forget about how Mom and Dad lied to us. Separating us like that, making sure we were 100 miles apart. And believe me, I did everything I could to make it hard for Uncle Tony, so he would give up and let me come home. I worried about you.
Why are you always in my nightmares? And in my happy dreams? Why did Mom and Dad separate us? They said you were mentally ill.
They didn't tell you? Uncle Tony said you knew, but couldn't understand because you're...
Oh yeah, what? Retarded? Mentally challenged? I'm not stupid. I'm just slower than most people and more emotional. But only most people like me now, and Jane has helped me understand how I'm different, how I'm more sensitive, and how that's not a bad thing.
I had to have an operation, and I'll tell you all about it and why I was like 2 very different people. They convinced me to wait, but I've waited long enough.
Well, I don't know. I still have nightmares, so maybe they were right in some way. I missed you, anyway. I don't think that acting in your films is the right therapy for me.
Okay. Well, let's just get the shoot over with tomorrow, and maybe we can try something else. Dad always wanted to try group therapy, remember that? I was thinking maybe we could go somewhere tonight and just, talk.
All right, fine. But I don't want to see any blood, and I only want to hear it click, okay?
Okay. I talked to Jim, and he said that they can cut and turn back to me after you shoot.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
Don't worry. We're gonna be a team again. Best friends. Whatever it takes. Bye, Robert.
Bye.
You don't have to do this, And I don't think you should do this. At least, not right now.
So they're not live rounds, right? It's just because I don't know if I could handle the sound.
It's just blanks. Might be a little loud, but that's why I bought the pellet gun, so it's quieter for you.
I thought we were going to be using blanks. We're not kids anymore. There's no need to be so dramatic.
Come on. Aim and fire. Wait. There you go.
Okay. Jane and I talked last night.
Yeah. Come on. It's already cocked. Just aim it.
Did you hear me?
I heard you, Robert. I can't train you and talk about our reoccurring past at the same time. Aim and fire. God, I'm gonna need a drink. Or 3. Good one.
Why do you need a drink or 3?
I'm gonna need a drink or 3, because let's just say you'll be shocked. Now aim and fire.
So, do you have a boyfriend?
This is why we need to go for a drink later. Oh, you're funny. Come on. Aim and fire. Tell me, Robert. You seem more stable. Emotionally, I mean. And smarter.
No, I'm a nervous wreck. I have anxiety and I have a hard time concentrating. And when people are acting like you are now, it just makes it worse. But I am smarter. You don't have a boyfriend, do you?
It's complicated. You can't keep changing it. It doesn't really change. Wait.
What?
Come on, you can do it.
Okay.
Come on, Robert. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, do it. Woo! You did it! It's okay, Robert, you did it. See? I told you you could do it. It's just a chunk of metal.
I know, thank you. I just about had a heart attack now, I think, though. I'm still sensitive. And I think that you know something that I don't. Do you have a boyfriend or not?
Like I said, it's complicated.
I don't want this anymore.
Wait.
What?
Aim it at me.
No.
And then you can go home.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I took the pellets out. No noise. Remember?
Alright. Yeah. Sure. Oh, okay, here. I shot the gun and I shot the pellet gun, so we're going home, okay? And I'll see you tonight, okay? Where are we going?
The strip club. The Admiral.
I didn't agree to that.
Come on, get in the car. I'm just kidding. We're going to Attitudes. They're having a CD release party.
Is the band gonna be playing? You know it's gonna be loud.
Oh, poor Robert. I called ahead and Sharon's saving us a table in the back. The DJ is gonna be there, but he's only gonna play till 11. And after that, he's just gonna stick around, walking around and giving people shots.
Yeah, we can't simulate the car. Sure. Right on.
They're gonna bring it here in a minute.
Do they have coffee here? I think we're gonna need coffee later on.
So, where have you been all these years? What have you been doing?
What did you say?
I'm really glad we're back together again. We should have done this when I found you.
When you found... Oh, you mean when we found out we were both acting.
So, I've been really busy, and I'm finally seeing a therapist, and I can't believe you're actually married.
Yeah, I met Jan when I was in high school. She was my tutor.
I thought you were homeschooled.
Who had the vodka?
Thanks. I was, for 2 years. I was in 11th grade, and then Dad left, and we moved out.
Nice. I was homeschooled too, but I graduated early. Advanced placement classes. I left Uncle Tony behind me as soon as I turned 17.
Why did you stop calling, though, or writing? You didn't send us anything.
I couldn't find you. Uncle Tony wouldn't tell me where you were. Robert, there's a lot you don't know about me.
I don't really want to hear it. After Dad left, Mom got really depressed. She lost her job. They wanted to send me into foster care, but they said I was too young. They got me a tutor and a counselor, and Mom got a therapist. She did find another job, though.
Is she alright?
Yeah. Now she is, yeah.
Wow. Aren't we a nice little mess, us and our families?
I'm not a mess. Well, I try really hard not to be, thanks to Jane. I don't know, I'd be lost without her. So.
Come on, let's dance.
Well, no, I don't dance.
We're gonna need more drinks. You say you don't dance or drink, then what do you do for fun?
I read and I act. I even plan on going to college.
Come on, let's dance.
No, it's fine. You just you go ahead and I'll watch.
The camera. drink.
We should probably go, actually.
Why? I'm having fun. Besides, I have a lot to tell you.
No. I think I get it. I saw you, dancing with that other girl. Is this why you don't have a boyfriend? I saw you blow off that guy.
Wow, you are a lot smarter than you used to be, aren't you?
So I'm right.
I think I need to finish my drink first. Robert, whoa, I am getting buzzed. That's better.
No, what? Why is that better? I'm not a good driver.
How the hell did you get into acting? Okay, never mind. Just listen.
What time does this place close?
I don't know, like 2? Jeez, you need to learn how to drink. You need another.
No, I don't, and neither do you, because if I'm going to drive, you're gonna have to navigate.
Okay, just listen. I'm a lesbian, and I'm also kind of a hermaphrodite, and for a long time I was this really angry person because I didn't know what or who I was.
You should have told me.
I'm Jason. I saw you dancing back there and thought I should say hi. Is this your boyfriend?
Beat it, loser.
Come on, I don't mean to interrupt or anything, but...
I'm a man. Now beat it.
Jesus, Sarah, I don't care what you are. I still love you, and it's not just because we're twins. I need a coffee, okay?
This will just be a minute, and then you can get your coffee.
All right. What can I do to help you?
I have these suicidal thoughts, and I want you to help me. No. Stop. You don't have to, do anything outrageous. You just put something in my drink. I mean, not right now. Not right now. I'll tell you what. Because, if we stay close, you'll know.
No, you need a better therapist or better drugs or something.
Okay.
I can help.
Okay.
Jane can help.
What if I set it all up and all you have to do is push a button, like Dr. Kevorkian? You wouldn't be killing me, just assisting me,
No, I need a coffee or something. Where are your keys?
The keys are in my jacket. Where?
Sarah! I'm not a good driver. I had like 2 drinks. I can't drive. Can we get some coffee over here, please? Sarah! Can we get some coffee? God damn it!
I just saw Rob.
Yeah, how is he? What happened?
What do you mean? He's catatonic.
Yeah, but do they know why?
They'll be meeting with all of us later. They're doing all kinds of tests.
Ooh, wait. What kinds of tests?
Well, you'd know if you had come to the meeting.
And you know that I couldn't. I've been busy dealing with his family, trying to find his father.
Well, I think you'll like what they have planned. It's all being done under clinical research. Hypnosis.
Hold on. Who's paying for all of this?
It's clinical research. It's free.
Look, I've done my own research. You want to know who's paying for all of this? Banks. Foreign banks. And Canyon Creek, do you know how hard it was to find any kind of information on this place? It's like some top secret research facility. They're funded by various grants, and not just from the AMHI, from corporations. There's not even a sign out front. It just looks like some old mansion.
Come on. Do you really believe everything you hear on the internet? Just talk to Dr. Jameson before you jump to conclusion, okay? He's a really good doctor, and he's making sure he covers all of the traditional routes, bringing in the best psychologists, neurologists, blah, blah, to all agree on the best approach. But absolutely making sure they get the diagnosis right the first time.
Really? So they're just gonna diagnose a catatonic man?
Yeah. I know you don't believe me, but yes. He's partially conscious, so they can do that.
They told you all of this. So who's they?
It's all in the brochure. fMRIs, hypnotism.
Wait, you're getting on my case for believing the internet, but you're gonna trust some brochure and one psychiatrist you've only met once? One more time, Sarah. Who's paying for all of this?
Perfect.
Okay, Dr. Trishon, what do you think about the remarks made by Robert's wife, Jane, at the cafe? She said Cedar Creek is in collusion with foreign banks, a top secret research center, corporate grants?
It's ridiculous. We have a foundation we work with. There's a name on the door. The work we do is indeed private, but that doesn't make us some evil force that's doing top secret research.
That name, the name on your door, that sign, the one that's set all the way back along the sidewalk to the entrance, that's transparency?
Like I said, all our records are transparent to the government. We have a website.
A website that doesn't say anything about your company, a website that nobody even knows exists because it's not publicized.
We work with many foundations. They inevitably have ties to many countries. But we don't work with any foreign banks directly, period. Our website is just like any corporate website. It's there for informational purposes.
No, let's go back. The psychiatric conference revealed Robert is demisexual.
His sexual changes are within normal limits, but at the extremes.
Now let's go back. The psychiatric conference revealed Robert is demisexual.
Yes, but not a full hermaphrodite like his sister. His sexual changes are in normal range, just at the extreme.
Dr. Trishon, a demisexual is a person who does not act sexually upon hormonal cues. It's a person who has to have a deep emotional bond with another person before registering sexual activity, before recognizing hormonal cues.
Yes, I know that. But Robert was telepathically connected with his sister, so he was conflicted. My statement still stands.
Well, yes, you're still correct, but you've neglected to identify demisexual. I think it's because you don't even want to know to the extent that Robert was conflicted because of how it might affect these proceedings.
I didn't define demisexual because I thought you knew what it meant.
Interesting points. Now, why would Sarah tell staff at Cedar Creek that her parents were dead?
Well, in Sarah's mind, her parents were dead. She felt that she was Robert's parent. See, the parents, they were necessary economically for their survival, and that was really their sole contribution. Well, they would talk about and discuss the children, but they could never come in an agreement on how to raise them. And they just didn't have the time or the patience to raise them properly, so essentially they encouraged Sarah and even turned her into Robert's surrogate parent.
Where was child services while all this was happening? You did say Robert was brought to Cedar Creek when he was a child after the incident with the toy rabbit and Sarah's seclusion with Uncle Tony?
Well, this is going to sound strange, but it's true. Sarah has always been in telepathic communication with Robert, even as a child. She was smart. She guided him through his interviews with therapists. He often said just what she wanted him to say. And we talked with his parents. They both seemed totally normal. Moderate income, both worked. The school had some concerns, but told us that they had enrolled Robert in a special class for developmentally challenged students.
Dr. Trishon, He knows exactly what to say, but he's not telling you the whole truth. See, Uncle Tony and Dr. Jameson put Robert in an outpatient program about the same time they brought him to Cedar Creek. And they also had strict limits of how much interaction Sarah could have with Robert. Now, during this outpatient program, they put him on different drugs that we would call date rape drugs today, and hypnotism, truth serums. Those are all procedures that they used on him during that time.
That is a blatant lie.
There's a really important question I need to ask. Did Robert himself agree to us seeing these videos after leaving Cedar Creek? I mean, currently we're getting all of our information from Sarah and him through the FBI. Yes, sometimes in writing, but never directly. My question is, where is the concern for Robert's privacy in all of this?
Well, both Sarah and Robert are missing. We know that. It appears Robert may have cured himself with Sarah's help. And not to mention, his wife Jane also played a very positive role in his recovery.
As an adult, Robert was becoming less compliant with Sarah's commands and subtle coercions. A couple of clips you're going to show will reveal that Sarah was losing control over Robert, and she was trying to manipulate him back into a relationship. We are not sure where it is that our intervention into his mind ended and where hers began via her telepathy. That's because we didn't know about the telepathy until very late in the game. We're not the bad guys. Robert did wake up. He went right back to Sarah. A person in a catatonic state, someone who is severely mentally disabled, does not show that kind of initiative.
You know, there's talk of possible criminal action against Cedar Creek, and these final clips will show Dr. Jameson and myself presiding over an induced nightmare that was given to Robert. Now, they abused Robert, and they're probably off in some FBI witness protection program somewhere. Now, if only you had let him sleep, he probably could have cured himself, because sleep is a very restorative process, and your intervention interfered with that process.
Okay, let's look at these final clips. The final clip, the most controversial, is the one just before Robert wakes up and flees the building. In it, he kills someone, in an induced dream, we presume. Cedar Creek is monitoring this from the hospital room, but who he is killing and why is what we are going to discuss next.
Excuse me. Can I have a private moment with Dr. Morgan before we show that next clip?
Of course.
Thank you. What are you doing? We had an agreement. This was the one video you would not ask to be shown under any circumstances. It's just a dream. Okay, a nightmare. And now you want to inflame public opinion with it?
So sue me. I could use all the publicity I can get. And I didn't ask DHHS to refrain from this video.
Oh, we will sue. And I'm going to object to this video being shown. If they decide to show it anyway, I'll deny we had anything to do with it. It was all Sarah. I mean, she did show up at just the right moment, didn't she? The video will show she was in Robert's mind. It was Sarah who created this horrific fantasy, not Cedar Creek.
Well, it's in your best interest, because if this shows up on the internet later on, you're going to have to address it. And you're going to have to comment about why you're denying it now.
Are you threatening me?
I'm not the one that's going to put it on the internet.
Where are Robert and Sarah?
I don't know, but they have agreed to these videos. And in the meantime, you're in control, so it's, like I said, in your best interest. Because it shows that you have not developed safeguards against them. Now, any computer hacker or telepath could invade a person's lucid dreams, so you could show that the patient's data has to be protected until you can put safeguards into place. It just buys you time.
Why are you helping me? Safeguards? We're not an antivirus company.
Precisely. Therefore, you'd have to get the safeguards into place. That takes time and you'd still be in control. Now, I know you probably have computer hackers that have protected your data, and I'm talking about the real data, not that bullshit you sent to the government. So, I believe in this technology. I just want it to be safe. I want the patient to be in control. So I think this technology has some potential.
All right. We will show the video. But we will pin it on Sarah or you. Cedar Creek can't afford to be seen as a cruel and abusive company. If public backlash went viral, it would be the end of this technology.
No, it wouldn't. Yeah, it would delay it severely, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, I can't comment on exactly what Cedar Creek will do. That's beyond my pay grade, but bear in mind, they are chock full of lawyers, far more than medical staff. They will sue.
And I'll counter sue. You know, lawyers are the only ones that ever win on these things. They always do.
You're playing both sides of the fence. You want delay. You want more time to build your forces against this technology. You don't fool me.
Okay, here he comes. Sarah, hands behind your back. Where have you been? Sarah's been prepped. What just happened? Did I call action?
Something's wrong.
Did you get that?
No, I'll get it now.
You see him?
Go.
Robert. Shit. Robert, give me your phone.
Hey, Robert. Hey, Robert. 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 You okay?
Yes, it's my brother. He's
All right.
having some kind of
All right.
episode. Yeah, he's breathing, but he's not moving. Please, just send help quickly.
Well, we're gonna have some exciting news for you soon. But I know you're in shock, and the doctors did say this should wait.
Rob, it's me. It's really me. It's not just a dream.
Sarah, maybe this should wait until we have the really exciting news, you know? The video.
That's right. Rob, we have a video from that day on set. Once you see it, you will understand everything. The doctor says your trauma is mostly psychological. Look at me. I'm really here.
Okay, buddy. We're gonna go. The doctor said not too much information, so just listen to Sarah, okay?
I'm changing. Getting help. Jane and I will do anything for you. We'll be back soon.
Rolling. Okay.
What are you doing?
Robert, I wish you would have told me about your shared genetic condition.
I love you, Robert. This is all my fault. They can cure you. I'm the one with the permanent condition. And soon, everyone will know.
Robert, the doctors and Sarah both think you're still conscious. Look, just give us a sign. Come back to us, okay?
You know that day on set where you thought you shot me? Well, you didn't. I'm not dead. I wasn't even hurt. Jim wanted to change the script. He wanted to see how you would react if you thought you had really killed me. You left so fast, I didn't have time to show you it was fake.
Robert, if I only knew about your condition. Look, Sarah didn't even want to do the scene. I pushed her to do it.
That's enough, Jim. Robert, everyone is going to know about us, but only if you want them to. That's why it's so important for you to come back to us.
Okay. We're gonna go, Rob. We'll be back, okay? We're gonna find a way to make everything better, alright? Much better. Cut. Okay.
Yeah,
Soon the world will know about us, but only if you want them to. That's why it's so important for you to come back to us. Please don't judge me, but I can't do this without you.
Okay. We're gonna leave now, Robert. You take care, okay? We're gonna find a way to make this better, okay?
Sarah. 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 Sarah! 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 Sarah. 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 Sarah!
That's good.
I'm right here!
Yeah, I know.
My angle is... Thank you, doctors, for coming. Your input has been very helpful so far. I've looked over all the physical and mental tests, and I see nothing to suggest why he's so unresponsive.
So why is he catatonic if it's not his passive repressed personality combined with his developmental disorder and his psychosexual condition?
This is gonna sound crazy, but it's almost as though Robert is conscious, or at the very least semi-conscious. So could it be that he just prefers this state?
Something's going on in there. I believe he's observing without participating. He's putting the pieces together, but something's holding him back.
He doesn't have all the information to piece things together. You see, when people like his sister talk to him, he doesn't know if it's her or his imagination. He's had these episodes before, but they've been transient until now.
Well, what about his sexuality?
He's demisexual. If you check the fMRI results, you'll see what I'm talking about. They confirm the location of his sexuality as being off. It's interactive between his sexuality and his depersonalization disorder. The way to explain this is that he lacks the ability to have sexual attraction to anyone unless he's formed a close bond with them. Almost as if bipolar in manner. Now, that's not the clinical statement, but there are some correlations between it and his depersonalization disorder.
Well, it could be depersonalization disorder. I mean, except it's coma-like and seemingly self-induced. It's weird. A coma with some conscious control over some functions.
Well, I don't understand. Everybody has some feelings of sexuality at times, and at other times they don't.
Yes, but these changes in his sexuality can be either completely absent or very intense. Also, in my notes here, and there may also be different personalities combined with imagined realities to fit them. A different persona that imagines an entire reality as if it was lucid dreaming.
So many questions. How long has this been going on? Where are his parents? What does his wife have to say about any of this?
Yes, we'll get to that, but let's stick to what we know. He seems to be continually running alternate realities in his head, but with very little to base them on. To tell him.
Well, I definitely agree with that. We need to have a very detailed and very in-depth conversation about his past, not only with the mother, but with the sister as well.
Mother? She's alive? Sarah told me she was dead.
Oh, the mother is very much alive. Sarah lied to us to protect him. We need to get her to understand that she is the key. But we may still have to manipulate some of his memories.
That's not approved of by the AMA or any other medical oversight agency.
That'd work. Look, he probably wants to forget his entire past and all the delusions and demons within it. He's had so few pairs that his sister has become his strongest bond. She's played multiple roles in his life, and it's become his strength. What keeps him going are his sister, his wife, and his demisexuality. Ironically, yes, in his case. His high intelligence and demisexuality can be a coping mechanism for his depersonalization disorder. Oh yes. Most of the time it's probably emotional love, but there must be some point in his past where he had good memories. His relationship with Sarah is unique for a brother and sister because of how they were treated by their parents from birth.
You seem to know an awful lot about this, considering we haven't even spoken to him yet. How do you know all this?
His mother told me. She told me a lot. His mother told me. She said a lot. His wife and sister some, and the rest, as I said in my report here, learned from anesthetic hypnosis while we were conducting fMRI scans because we mapped his brain.
Need concrete details, doctor. I'm old-fashioned, and I will take a DSM-4 based diagnosis over all this new age stuff any day. Don't get me wrong, I like that psychiatry is advancing into a combination of neurology. Now don't get me wrong, I like that psychiatry is steadily advancing into a compilation of neurology and cognitive therapy. But I still think...
Yes, doctor. I understand where you're going. But we need to circle back a bit. And Sarah is intersex, and Robert has emotional intelligence that far exceeds anything we've ever encountered. But he also has emotional problems, probably stemming from the ways, probably stemming from dealing with society's views on asexuality, his developmental deficits, and, well, everything else.
So she has androgen insensitivity.
Yes, very good.
Well, he may be mentally challenged for a long time, but what she has is for life.
His is for life as well, for both of them.
Robert's case is beginning to look a lot like prolonged PTSD, with a very confused psychological response to it, the origins of it. You used brain mapping and hypnosis to diagnose him, so couldn't we use the same methods to cure him?
Yes, very good, Miss Thatcher. Yes, if we can get... Very good, Miss Thatcher. If we can get him to talk to us subconsciously, then do a little memory manipulation, add and erase some selective memories. Well, we need to get Sarah to tell us everything. She's the key. No, not really. I've done some research on the movie history. Both Sarah and Robert were separated as young. It was very traumatic, and they met up again as actors just after becoming adults. Robert is an overachiever, while Sarah is an underachiever. But it's Sarah who's been manipulating their careers.
What?
Yes. You're right about the PTSD. But Sarah has been playing the role of the amateur psych doctor, possibly out of guilt, desperation, perhaps. The movies? She's been in there on every one of them, whether she's been in the film or not.
Oh my god. She wrote all the screenplays. She's been guiding his emotions.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, very good. Took me a while to figure it out as well. She's either wrote or co-wrote all of them that Robert's been in. Sometimes she was in them, but all were attempts to rewrite their past and to modify Robert's behavior to how Sarah thinks he should be.
To bring out his primal instincts, his dark side. Finally unite his emotions with his sexuality to save him.
So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We have to be very careful how we proceed. One wrong step and it's all over.
Cut. I think that's enough. That's good. All right. Okay.
Like the lean back.
I know you have my gun.
Wake up, Robert. It's the only way you can save me.
Cut.
Action.
Wake up, Robert. It's the only way you can save me.
Why are you changing it to that? What's your game plan?
I didn't change it for this.
Who did?
No one. Are you sure you have him under? His bed waves are way too strong.
I gave him enough Thorazine to knock out a horse. Well, I can't give him any more. Sweet Jesus, he's trying to kill him.
Yes, I didn't think he had it in him.
This may just strengthen his super ego.
Perhaps. It allows it.
I agree. You know, this is just like watching a movie. How is he moving?
It's getting out of hand. But why?
What are you doing? Why are there two distinct beta patterns?
I don't know. Maybe his left hemisphere and his right hemisphere are conflicting.
No, it's something. It's someone else. We have to stop this.
No, not yet. I'm recording this. Wait! No! Listen. Sarah, she's in his mind. Sarah! I'm calling Sarah! I'm calling Sarah! I'm calling Sarah.
Sarah! Sarah! Okay, I'm rolling. Feeling.
Okay, action.
Robert.
Action.
Okay, rolling.
Action.
I'm on my way.
Action.
I know, I'm on my way.
Cut.
Look at you. Pathetic.
That's looking better. Are you in pain?
Yes, mistress.
Good pain? Or bad pain?
The best pain, mistress.
That's right!
What are you doing?
You've wasted my time and disturbed both myself and my brother. I should cave in your skull.
Let me go. You're crazy. Just let me go.
Robert, this is how you kill
I
someone.
don't even know who you are.
No! Why are you doing this? What's with the clothes?
Let go! How many nightmares have you had because of this piece of shit?
I don't know.
I do, because I see them too. I know how much it bothers you. I know what he's done to you. It just doesn't freak me out as much as you. Pig!
You're going to murder him.
Here, you finish him off. Maybe you'll stop the night.
I can't.
You do this, and you'll have power over him.
I can't. I can't.
Okay, these final scenes are of private communications between Robert and Sarah, shortly before Robert became catatonic and the events that preceded Robert's catatonic break. We will also explore an episodic dream in which Robert thinks Sarah killed a teen, a supposed friend, for saying she would rat them out to the other kids at school. We will also show the episodic dreams in which Cedar Creek apparently used to convince Robert he had a psychologist, but really this is just Robert's alter ego talking back at him in the dream. Have I got that right?
Yes, we found that Robert was becoming more rational. He was having more rational dreams. So we decided to introduce a dream psychologist to find out about his psychological problems.
I do agree. It does show that Robert was maybe overcoming his mental development problems. Finally, we will show that final nightmare I just referred to before the break.
Okay, so here we have to put her with.
God, I hate her.
Who?
She tried to kiss me. And when I wouldn't, she called me names.
She kissed me too. It was horrible. She was bad at it.
I know. She told me. Then she tried to kiss me.
That ain't right. She should get her head knocked off.
A little quicker. Cut.
Cut.
Oh yeah. Sarah. Robert.
I'm guessing you don't like me? Not you or your freaky brother.
You hit that girl!
What girl?
Where is she?
Who? You don't believe me? I didn't do anything.
I saw. You hit that girl in the back of the head.
No, you didn't see anything.
Saw. You hit that girl.
I will always do whatever it takes to protect you.
I know you will protect me. You scare me.
Miss Thatcher, please, come in. Sit down. Apparently, we both work too many hours, don't we?
Yes, I'm just here catching up on some paperwork. It's definitely the one part of the job I don't like.
Yeah, of course. So, what did the tape show today?
On Robert? Don't you usually do that in the morning? Well, basically.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure everything looks good.
Yes. He's responded really well to the mini documentary of his family and friends. He's moving his eyes around a little bit. He even shedded a few tears. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's good to hear. So fantastic. That's so good to hear. You know, the main reason why I called you in here today is I haven't had a chance to personally tell you what a tremendous help you've been on this case. It's the hours, the time and the work that you've put in. It's been wonderful.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I assume you're gonna enjoy your upcoming vacation?
Oh. Yes, more than you know. Going to Yosemite.
Oh, well, really?
Yes, yes.
Wow, I've always really wanted to do that. I just haven't had a chance yet. Doctor, can I speak frankly?
Yes, of course, please.
Well, it's just that you seem to be taking a lot of risks with Robert, more so than any other patient. And while I do admire that, it's just that I really see.
I understand where you're going with this, and what you don't know is that I've spoken to the family and they have allowed everything that we've done. This case, as you know, has been quite interesting and challenging for both Sarah and Robert.
Of course it has. It's just something about this seems different. I mean, the memory implants, the memory erasures, the computer-mediated telepathy and hypnosis, the use of fMRIs to map his emotions, experimental drugs. I assume that all of this is in stage 3 FDA trials?
Can I trust you with something?
Of course, yes. If it's something personal, I don't need to know. Like I said, I admire you. It's just that I really just... I'm sorry. I'm just a very logical person, I think, and you're a bit of a puzzle.
Yes, well, I do have a personal interest in this case, and maybe someday...
It's fine. I don't need to know. I mean, we work together, so we need to be professional.
Professional, yes, of course. Speaking of professional, it's extremely late, and we've worked way too many hours.
Yes.
Let's get out of here. Thank you.
Well, he's a cutie. Is he your son, or...?
No. He's my nephew.
Okay. Well, you know it is late, and I haven't eaten since noon. I'd really love to learn more about some of these new techniques. You know, I'm thinking about going back to school, so...
Oh, that's fantastic. You know, I haven't eaten either now that I think about it. I'm famished.
Well, I know of a Thai place that's still open. Do you like Thai, Dr. Jameson?
Please, call me Paul.
Okay.
Interesting that you are so concerned with the politics and economics of this, Dr. Trishan, because we are not at that point yet. We are here to determine whether Cedar Creek's use of this technology was ethical and done in a humane way. Along those lines, I have a question. Dr. Morgan touched on it earlier. Sleep is indeed a restorative process. Toxic proteins that cause Alzheimer's are removed from the brain during sleep. Memories are consolidated and distributed across the individual's brain according to the individual's emotional priorities. Seemingly irrational events are given meaning, and as new information arrives, new or expanded meaning is attributed during sleep. So sleep is both a physical and psychological restorative process. Would you agree with that?
Of course. That's why we put Robert into an induced coma.
Yes, but you tried to control that coma, to interfere with the patient's own natural healing abilities, and you did so without knowledge of the patient's own detailed background and communications with others, particularly his sister. This history existed only in Robert's brain. So how did you know when to interfere, which dream suggestions to use and not use, essentially how to enhance the self-healing process without doing additional harm?
We have a sophisticated set of algorithms that make those decisions on a very rapid basis.
Oh, really? Did you confer with this computer, or did it just make all these decisions by itself? Did this computer talk to Sarah and Robert? Were they friends?
Doctor, that is both naive and insulting. I want to know why there are no real experts on this panel. Why you're the only one who decides whether or not this goes to the full committee.
You are right. This is my decision, and I am recommending that this be brought to the full committee, and I am seriously considering expanding the scope beyond that.
When? When are we going to see a full report? When will we see the full submittal to the committee? What are you going to do? We still don't know what Robert believes he saw with that murder, and what damage Sarah did to him.
Really, Dr. Trishon, he woke up. He left with his sister. They're living independently by themselves without our help. They said they wanted these videos shown.
This proceeding is officially over. Good day and enjoy your weekend.